What is up my guys, Codey here and welcome back to the vid. Today we're going to be analyzing Langley's kit, as well as rating her in different game modes to know if she's worth pulling for or not. Straight away, let's start with the kit, starting with her basic attack. The multipliers are above average, which is expected for a marksman or a reticle class. The range of her basic attack is very good as well. Covering a 6x3 area is almost covering the entire field. Then for her ult, she shoots 5 times and then the first shot will deal core damage. The multiplier on this one is quite decent, especially if you're only targeting one enemy. I know it's an AoE, but this skill is actually really bad when it comes to clearing waves. At first I thought it was going to be attacking everything in range for 5 times, but upon testing, she shoots one random enemy in range for 5 times. So yeah, you can't really rely on her ult when it comes to wave clearing. But good thing though that she has her passive 1. Anyone who would take damage from Langley will be marked with causality. Then when her own attack deals damage to an enemy, she deals a percentage of her attack additional physical damage to all enemies marked with causality. Okay, now this passive is what makes Langley really good. Not only that it gives a huge boost on her DPS, but also makes her a good answer when it comes to dealing with multiple enemies. Most players even move her around the battlefield just to spread out the causality mark. And then lastly, we have her passive 2. When the enemy marked with causality dies, it deals damage to all of the enemies in the same grid. It's kind of a niche skill, but it's helpful when it works, especially against bosses that are surrounded by mobs, such as the BFL boss Maiden. And then for her ECB or exclusive crime brand, once you unlock it, she will now be able to add causality mark to all enemies within the skill range of her ult, plus an additional attack speed bonus for 10 seconds. Pretty good ECB, it makes it easier for you to spread the causality mark instead of moving her around. So that is Langley's kit. Overall, she seems like a very solid character, right? Single target DPS with wave clear capability as well can assist with core breaking. But Chief, hold on to your warrants first because these are the things that you need to know about Langley. Traditional Langley was often used as a DPS. That is why you would often see the crime brand Pandora being recommended for her. And also fun fact, did you know that Pandora can trigger causality? But regardless though, one of the glaring issue with Langley is her slow attack speed. And in terms of just solely damage output, she will not be able to outperform dedicated DPS units such as Roleka, Priscilla, or even Dolly. But that doesn't mean that her DPS is really bad, it just means that she's not the best at it. And when it comes to her wave clear, she will not be able to sweep through enemies like Nox can, so she won't be able to replace Nox when it comes to that role. But the good news is that she's not really energy dependent or empower hungry like Nox, so she can perform her job as a wave clearer, while also gives you the flexibility to give your empower on your key or main unit. So in conclusion, Langley is a jack of all trade, master of none. She may not be able to replace any of your Sinner with a specialized role, but the utility and flexibility that she can provide for the team is still a great asset. But to be honest with you guys, S0 Langley is really mediocre. You need to have a dupe or shackles in order to make her really good. The best thing about her though is that unlike her other Reticle counterpart Summer, she only needs at least one dupe or S1. Her S1 will turn her into one of the best utility in the game. A simple 10% damage amp will make her great regardless of what team composition that you put her into. Now let's try to rate her in terms of contents that we have in the game. For story and this shadow, 5 out of 5. Great range, can core break, and can deal with multiple enemy. For BFL or Battle Frontline, she's a 2 out of 5 for me. Her kit is just not necessary there in my opinion. This mode is just a DPS race, but if we're talking about S1 Langley though, then she's a 4 out of 5. The damage amp would make a great use for the entire team. TOA or Tides of Ashes, she's a 4 out of 5 here. Not really a must-have in team comps, but due to her versatility to fit into any team, she's great in Tides of Ashes. And then lastly, I just need to tackle this question. Should I pull for Langley or should I save and wait for the new event character, which is Oatmeal? The short answer for this one is no. You cannot compare them. Apples and oranges, it's like comparing Bai Yi with Serpent. There's really no point since they don't even do the same thing. But I would say though that if you're new to the game or early on in the game, if you can guarantee S1 Langley, I would prefer S1 Langley over Oatmeal. But I don't want to make this video too long or overload you guys with information, so I'm going to be making a separate video about Oak Casket, so make sure to subscribe so that you won't miss this video, okay? So that is it for the general overview for Langley. Hope you were able to enjoy the video. As always, this has been Codey. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your pools, Chief.